Welcome back, NYC Fragrance family. Got another kind of sentimental video for you today. Been doing a lot of retro stuff, right? I did the year I started fragrances. I did my first 10 fragrances. Now I'm gonna kind of do like a little homage to my father. Now he's not dead, so let's not get, dark about it. He's still alive, but my wanting to wear fragrances when I was 16 is because my father always smelled good and it was an influence, right? So, we talk a lot about influence nowadays, and my father was my first fragrance influence, if we want to go that way, right? So first thing I'm going to show you is the basic, right? So after a shave, it was the common thing that everybody had. The bottle don't look exactly the same as it used to. I picked it up pretty much just for this video, but you know what? As something to splash on after you shave, it's really not a bad smelling thing. It's still kind of, I don't know. It has that nice soapy vibe, and it's Old Spice. Now I know you're all laughing right now like, come on Joe, you're crazy with the Old Spice. What, are you kidding me? But you know what? It has that barbershop shave foam smell to it with some spiciness that I would splash on after a shave. Now it's probably going to be gone within about 15-20 minutes, but that's the whole point of an aftershave anyway. But I do remember my father putting this on when he shaved, and that was something I was reminiscent of. Now I bought different aftershaves for myself. I have the Clubman, the Pinard, and I have American Blend from Fine Fragrances. That one's got like almost like a fougere quality, like you could actually decant that and wear that and spray that, but it's an aftershave. It doesn't last very long, but it just smells great every time you splash it on. That opening blast when you put it on is just so nice. So going off track, that's my aftershave stuff, and I've been getting more shave products lately because I started to keep a beard more regularly, and I'm always shaving my head and things like that to keep things clean and neat. So shave products are starting to become a big thing in my repertoire as well. So the first fragrance obviously that I correlated to him was Pinot Silvestre, which became my first fragrance, but the one I always seemed to see him wear a lot more than that one, which then became my fragrance as well, or I used to wear it as well, and he had it in a splash format, so I believe it was the aftershave as well, but it was Pierre Cardin. Now I see this being referred to as Pierre Cardin pour Monsieur. I just know it as Pierre Cardin. I always knew it as Pierre Cardin for men. Just a creamy, leathery, powdery, soft fragrance. It was never offensive to anybody. It was just natural, clean, nice. And I still like the smell of it. This formulation, I'm sure, is not anywhere as good as the one I used to wear back in the late 80s, but still smells nice. I don't know that I would recommend it unless you're old school and you remember wearing this and you want to get a bottle in your collection. Then I'd say, yeah, what the hell. I mean, I think I paid $17 for this or something like that. So I have it this way. It's like when I reminisce about days gone by and my first wearings of fragrances, I get to look at things. Do I go and reach for it, wear it? Nah, not so much. But because I have so much other stuff and a lot of modern stuff and stuff that's just that much better. Let's face it. I don't think it's something that stood the test of time. I think it smells nice, but I just don't think it's good for today's standards. The next one that, like I said in the previous video when I talked about my original 10, my father's the brand ambassador. He has to be. Because it all started with this one, and it was the original Ralph Lauren Polo. A lot of people refer to this as Polo Green. It's not called Polo Green, it's called Polo. It is the original Polo. Anything that came out with a Polo name on it after that, Polo Blue, Polo Red, Polo Sport, Polo Ultra Blue, Poultry, Polo Deep Blue. I know I'm trying to rush, or I'm rushing through it. I need to slow myself down. So anyway, Polo Deep Blue is the most recent iteration. They're all flankers of this. This is the original Polo. That green bottle, that was the original one. The mossy one, the rich one. It was I mean, I remember smelling it and it was overpowering. I think my father would spray a little bit too much. Hence where I get my classic overspraying, I guess, too. But it is what it is. Next one he picked up, or that I remember, and I picked it up as well, and I got a bottle of it as well. And this brand, this designer became a brand of mine that I like to get shirts from and I like to get accessories from because I couldn't afford the suits when I was younger. But if I found a sample sale, I would get something with the name on it, t-shirt or whatever I could get. And now I enjoy their fragrances as well. And it is Boss #1. Now, if you like aromatic fougere fragrances like I do, this right here, I have to spray it on my hand to remind me because this one I know it has some honey in it and some tobacco, some cinnamon. It's a spicier aromatic fougere than, you know, and a lot of the newer iterations of aromatic fougères that try to recreate the old school vibe have a lot of the similar spices. Now, some of the florals that are in this is what gets taken out in the more modern fragrances, but you'll still find cinnamon. You'll still see some people throw some tobacco in. They'll still throw some honey in. They make sure they get the right woody notes and they get the newer woody notes. You know, bergamot is usually in there. Lavender is usually still in there. Geranium is still in there. Things like carnation, things like that get taken out. That seems like an old school flower. But carnation for me, if you ever took a carnation and smelled it right up front, it's a musky flower. And that's where you get muskiness without having to get animal musk. You can get musk, you can get floral musks. You can get stuff that smells musky from a floral note as well. And carnation is definitely one of them that could do that. This is good. But again, it's reminiscent, it's taking me back to the days that I remember, you know, it's always after that shower, after that shave, or we're ready to go somewhere. This was more of one that he would wear on occasions where we had a party or we had to go to a wedding or we had, you know, we always had parties. We had baptisms, we had confirmations, we had sweet 16s. You know, Italian people throw a party if you friggin', I don't know, just walk out the door, pretty much. They're always throwing parties. Anyway, so we're always at parties. So this was one that was a party fragrance. The one, not party like clubbing, but parties, you know, formal events. That's when I would smell this one. The Boss would come out then. So, now the last one is the most current one that reminds me of him. Now he had Polo Blue, which I don't have, so I can't share that one. But he went to a newer version of that, of course, and it is Polo Ultra Blue. Now I picked this one up because I like the note breakdown, and I also liked how it smelled on him when he came over my house one day. You know, it's a fresh citrus blue fragrance. It's fresher than the original blue. I think it's a nice summertime option, nice work fragrance, nice everyday use. And the price is decent for a Polo, because even that Polo green, still discounted, they're not that cheap. They're not in the $30 range. They're not in the $40 range. They're still going for over $50, close to $60 for that Polo green. So the Ralph Lauren fragrances do tend to maintain their price a little bit high. So these are the fragrances growing up that reminded me of my father. And I put a few in my collection. I just picked up that Old Spice just to have it. It was like $7. But you know what? I might actually use it after a shave. Why not? You know, I had the Pierre Cardin for a while because that was one of mine. I recently got the Polo Green. It was one of mine and it was one of his. So I wanted to have that back in the collection. The Boss I picked up because I remember that smell, and I have Boss fragrances like Boss Bottled Intense and Boss Iced and the newer Private Accord. I even have Feel Good Summer. I have a few Boss fragrances, and I've had Boss fragrances in the past as well. I'm Boss in Motion. I had the original, I think it was Boss Elements, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, going on and on about Hugo Boss, but so you get the drift. So these I mean, I'm not making a video again. These are not recommendations for you to go out and buy them. It's just me sharing a little bit of me and a little bit of my history and a little bit of my story with you. So, new viewers, thank you for stopping by. New subscribers, thank you for joining the NYC Fragrance family. And my NYC Fragrance family, from the bottom of my heart. Appreciate everything you do for me. Your continued support is what keeps me going and keeps me making these videos. And until the next time, remember, if you smell good, you feel good. Have a nice day.